A very warm welcome to Newsfeed on this third day of January 2021. My name is Dennis Otieno and the program begins right now. Now, ODM leader Raila Odinga has this morning met Muslim leaders in Mombasa as he drummed up support for the BBI report in the Coast region. Odinga has been at the Coast region days after his party ODM lost the Msambweni by-election to an independent candidate allied to Deputy President William Ruto.
Tusipopitisha hii BBI mambo yatakuwa yale. Naona yule hakimu mkuu Bwana Maraga ametoa pendekezo kwa Uhuru avunjilie bunge ili warudi kwa uchaguzi ili itekelezwe. Lakini hata tukirudi kwa uchaguzi na hii katiba vile iko, hakuna tofauti itapatikana. Sasa hii mabadiliko ya BBI itawezesha sisi kuhakikisha kwamba wamama na kutosha wataingia katika bunge ya kitaifa na bunge vile ya kaunti. Kwa hivyo sisi kuna mapendekezo mengi ambayo iko ndani ya BBI. Mimi na hakika ya kwamba hii BBI tukipitisha yale ambayo tulikubaliana mimi na Uhuru itakuwa imetekelezwa. Hayo ilikuwa wakati baina yetu mimi na Uhuru. Hiyo. Na Uhuru mwenyewe vile amesema vile amesema yeye anania tu akabisha kwamba yale ambayo alikuwa ameahidia wa Kenya ameyafanya. Jubilee wamekuwa na shida yao. Na sisi hatukundani Jubilee. Mambo ya Jubilee ni yao wenyewe. Wanaanza kujaribu kutuchafua sisi, lakini sisi tuko na msimamo kamili ambayo tunataka kutekeleza. Kwa sababu nimesema leo nikuja niongee na Waislamu. Niombe nini kwamba tumetoka mbali. Hii vita haijakuwa rahisi. Lakini nina hakika tutafaulu. Kuna mwingine alisema 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. We are still advancing. Hatua mbili mbele, moja nyuma, tunarudi. Inaitwa the tactical retreat. Retreat in order to advance. Here they define. Retreat in order to advance.
Now, residents of Mariba Ward in Bomachoge, Borabu constituency in Kisii County claim they have been subjected to live in the dark for more than 8 months after officials from Kenya Power removed the only transformer in the shopping center of Marina. The residents say the transformer used to supply power to their homesteads and shops. According to them, they were told the transformer was going to be fixed only for it to disappear for months. They are accusing the Kenya Power for laxity in solving their electricity problems. Traders at the Marina Township say they have been recording losses since the disruption of the power supply in the area.
Stima ndio shida kubwa ya area hii. Stima ilikuja hapa karibu miaka 5-6 ambayo imepita.
A police officer was shot dead hours after he allegedly killed his colleague in dramatic confrontation in Kamkunji area, Nairobi. The chaos that took place Saturday night saw another officer shot and seriously wounded in the hand. The first victim, who has been identified as Constable Maureen Achieng, was shot and killed inside a police car as she and her other colleague prepared to go for night patrols. According to the police and witnesses, the confrontation began when the suspect, Constable Lawrence Ewoy, picked a quarrel with the late Achieng over undisclosed reasons outside the police station before Ewoy allegedly opened fire at close range from his G3 rifle. Police say Ewoy, who managed to escape from the scene, was later cornered and killed near Bama Market, where he had changed his attire and was planning to return to the station.
Mwendo wa saa 3 ya usiku tumekuwa na kiza ya askari kushuti wengine, ambaye askari moja alikuwa na argue na wengine wakiwa wamekaa hapa kwa gari. So karudi nyuma ya gari ya Land Cruiser akakuja wako hapa mbele akapiga mmoja mkono, na huyu msichana alikuwa amekaa kwa kiti ya passenger naye akapigwa risasi. Tumekimbiza msichana hospitali Kenyatta, kufika huko bahati mbaya akaaga. Tuliweza huyo kijana baada ya kupiga hao wengine alitoroka na bunduki na tukaweza kufuata. Tumemobilize askari wakafuata. Akawa anatoroka akaenda mpaka Kitui Road huko industrial area, akarudi Mudhurwa, baadaye akarudi mpaka hapa kwa police station line. Wakati anafika hapa alianza kupiga marisasi. So askari wakaenda kuangalia wakifuata yeye. Alafu wakati walimsimamisha akawa na shuti askari, baadaye alipigwa mguu risasi moja, na wakati aliona atashikwa akajipiga risasi mwenyewe.
Now, youths in Uasin Gishu County have urged the government to tighten efforts against corruption in the country. Led by Jamal Diriwo, Secretary General, Youth Dawa Group and Imam Abdulaziz Mohammed, the youth have supported the position by the Muslims Advisory Council, who have weighed their support on BBI, which has outlined stringent measures to fight corruption. Now, they brushed off SUPKEM chairperson Hassan Orlando for misleading the Muslim population on BBI. They have also urged politicians to stop divisive politics.
Sisi vijana wa Kiislamu tuko na imani ya kwamba hili pendekezo la BBI itakapopitishwa ndio silaha ya kipekee ambayo kwamba itaangamiza ufisadi yote katika taifa letu, ndani ya shirika za kiserikali na ndani ya shirika za kidini zote.
Tujaribuni kuweka tofauti zetu mbali kama sisi Waislamu. Tofauti zetu ndogo ndogo zisiwe ni zenye kututanganisha. Tujaribuni mwaka kama huu wa 2021 ili tuweze kuwa kitu kimoja zaidi ya miaka mingine tulivyokuwa. Na wenzetu pia wasiokuwa Waislamu pia wajaribu kuweka tofauti zao kando na kuweza kuwa kitu kimoja ili tuweze kuendesha nchi yetu vizuri. Pia viongozi wa kiserikali, tofauti zao za kisiasa na pia ukabila usiwe ni wenye kutuharibia nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Now, some schools that had been turned into farms and businesses centers have started to gain back their shape as learning is set to resume tomorrow, even as others remain shut, never to be reopened. Now, Roka Preparatory is one such school that had been turned into a farm, where classrooms were used for chicken rearing. James Kongo, the proprietor of the institution, says he kept contact with his teachers and supported them when they needed help, adding that they are now ready to resume work. However, Castemil School in Githurai has closed its doors and has now been converted into a business center.
Kulingana na vile hali ya COVID-19, maneno mengine hapa na pale, tukaona sasa tubadilishe ikuwe business center. Ndio maana tumetengeneza huku hivi, hata hii fence tunatoa hii ya mabati, tukaweka hii ya tunatoa hii ya mabati, tuweke hii ya chuma, na nyumba tunakodesha. Yani huku chini tunakodesha nyumba za biashara, maoffices, supermarket. Ukiwa uko na hapo unaweza kuhitaji kuweka biashara hapa, hii compound iko clear na iko smart. Unaweza kuja ujichagulie nyumba moja hapa, uweke biashara yako hapa ile unaona inakufaa. Sasa hiyo garden tumebadilisha, ilikuwa kiwanja ya watoto. Sasa hiyo garden tunatengeneza ikuwe hasa kiwanja ya harusi. Kama ni harusi, unataka kufanya harusi, unaweza kuja unafanya harusi yako hapo. Kiwanja sasa iko smart, maji ni mingi. Wacha tuseme kuanzia Februari hiyo kiwanja itakuwa very smart, ya kama harusi hivi na graduation, maneno kama hizo. Kulingana hali ya hii ugonjwa ilikuja COVID-19, sasa mambo ikakuwa sasa uko ni kama shule, yani mambo ya shule iko gumu. tukaona tubadilishe hii kiwanja, hii shule ikuwe base ya bahari ya biashara.
Now, as schools reopen tomorrow after almost a year-long break due to COVID-19, parents are in the rush to prepare their children for schools on Monday. Parents are, however, complaining of hiked prices of essentials as they shop for the learners. Mwangi Maina has been doing a spot check in Nairobi's CBD and now joins us live. Mwangi, a busy day for parents and learners, is it right?
Definitely. Thank you so much, Dennis Otieno. It is a busy day for learners, for pupils and for parents. They are doing their final touches and final preparations to resume learning tomorrow after schools were closed more than 8 months ago. Now, we are in downtown Nairobi at River Road, where the place is known for selling of school uniforms, books, and stationery as the students resume back to school tomorrow. What you can see now, then, is if my reporter is able to show you just what is happening. Some of the shops here in Nairobi, parents have crowded in shops. They have their students and they have their children, and they are buying the necessary. We are right here at this one. They're selling school uniforms here, and you can see parents. They are lining. There is the manager saying there is no social distancing because they are not in a position to limit the number of parents who have come here. When we were speaking to the manager some few minutes ago, she was saying that they have received more than hundreds of parents who have come to buy school uniforms for their pupils. Some of the reasons that parents are giving Dennis is that the children have increased weight, they have added weight, and therefore they have to buy new school uniforms. So Dennis, we are keeping a spot check on Nairobi on how parents are preparing to take their children back to school tomorrow, and definitely we will keep our viewer in tabs at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. on what we'll have gathered. Back to you in studio, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Mwangi Maina. Of course, Mwangi Maina is keeping a spot check and checking out the parents and the shopping process right before the students get back to school. Thank you very much, Mwangi Maina. Now it's about time we take a very short break. Of course, do not go too far. We'll be right back with more informative news. Remember, you can always interact with us on our social media handles as well as the direct SMS line indicated at the bottom of your screen.
This is TV47. Happy holidays.
When COVID struck, the healthcare giver was becoming the first line defense. After the public health measures had been overwhelmed, I was approached by Equity Bank to come on board and see what we could do to ensure the healthcare worker was protected to look after the Kenyans. We said, let us sit down and go through virtually everything that was available. What had been made locally was not fit for purpose. Most of what we were getting to see that was fit for purpose was imported. So we asked ourselves, as the supply chain gets strained because the world was in limbo with the long supply lines, what do we do to ensure that when we ask for these supplies as healthcare workers looking after fellow Kenyans, we can have access to them? We were able to have a symposium with over 100 local manufacturers, assisted through the Equity Group, to discuss manufacturing with the specifications that were desired. We suddenly had things being made locally here, whereby we could walk to the factory, have a discussion on why this is not right, on how to improve. And I'm grateful also for the team of the specialist nurses and clinical officers, because we would make many journeys to these companies to have a look at the material, to have a look at the production. We made things that I myself would comfortably wear to look after patients that have COVID. That, to me, it's something that really Kenyans should be proud upon.
Equity. Bega kwa bega.
Experience a new level of convenience with the MyGo TV app. View your balance and pay your account. We have a wide variety to manage your account. You can easily upgrade your package in just a few steps. Fix common errors on your GoTV decoder to stay subscribed, connected, and continue watching. Take control of your viewing experience. Download My GoTV app to experience convenience on another level. Stay home, stay safe, and manage digitally with GoTV.
This is TV47. Happy holidays.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Now the program continues with a press conference regarding schools reopening led by the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha. Now, all learning institutions are set to reopen tomorrow after a long break occasioned by COVID-19. A multi-agency team led by the Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, is addressing the media on the full reopening of all learning institutions. Now, Sharon Baranga joins us live and brings us up to speed. Sharon Baranga, kindly tell us what is transpiring at the location.
Thank you, Dennis. We are currently at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, where we are waiting a joint address from 4 cabinet secretaries. That is starting from the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha. We also have the ICT Cabinet Secretary, Joe Musheru. The Health Cabinet Secretary is also here, and they are going here. They are coming to address the nation concerning the reopening of schools tomorrow. This is going to be the first time students are going to go back to schools after being home for almost 7 months. So this is going to be, we're waiting to hear some of the major announcements that they're going to make. But initially, the Education Cabinet Secretary said that one of the challenges that the country is facing currently is social distancing, and this is something that the country will never be able to achieve. So according to Professor George Magoha, he's urging all students, all parents, all teachers to ensure learners report to school with face masks, as this will help keep each and every person safe. Now, on the date, the 4th January 2021 is a date that was arrived at after a committee that was set up to look into how schools are going to open safely. Arrived at the date. Currently, we are still here, and if I can ask my camera person Chebet to just pan. We have the media here, each and every person is here. They've all set up. We're waiting for this address that is going to be very important for the nation, even as everyone is preparing to for full resumption of studies tomorrow. We will be here to keep you updated as events unfold. For now, the cabinet secretaries are still held up in a closed door meeting, but we are expecting them any time from now. Back to you, Dennis.
Well, thank you, Sharon Baranga. Of course, schools are reopening, a lot of activities going on, with parents shopping, and Professor George Magoha giving the directives on what, to do as the schools reopening and the right procedures to follow in measures to mitigate the COVID-19 protocols. Now, moving on. As schools gear up for reopening tomorrow, a section of leaders claim that the government seems not ready to ensure all requirements by schools are availed. Speaking in Makindu, Julius Mutwi Makweni Branch Chair, Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association called on parents to release their children tomorrow with school fees to enable smooth running in schools. Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers KUPPET Union's National Chairperson Omboko Milemba, on his part, has urged the Ministry of Education and the government to release funds to schools. The government, through the Ministry of Education, has promised that the funds will be availed by tomorrow.
To make sure you prioritize the education of your child, and to do so, is to make the necessary provisions, one of them being payment of school fees. We also know that there are protocols that have to be observed by these children and by the teachers. Every child as they go to school must have a mask. And it is not just one mask, because these children will be in school now throughout, and we are prepared to host them.
We are having a minimum expectation from the Ministry of Education and the Teacher Service Commission and the government in general. One, that the Ministry of Education has prepared all students in primary and secondary to have masks, a minimum of 3 for every student. That there will be sanitizers in schools, and that there'll also be washing points and water within our schools. But more paramountly, as a union, we are urging the Ministry of Education and government to actually release the funds to our schools, both primary and secondary. Because as we open schools on Monday, the schools have not received the funding, the ordinary funding. And without funding, schools will not operate. So let's not lie to each other that we are ready without funding of the schools. And that is very important. Finally, we are actually asking the Teacher Service Commission and all other